Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to COASTER-net Update. We've got some breaking news tonight out of Kings Mill, Ohio, where Kings Island has officially opened for the 2018 season. And we know that Kings Island didn't really make a huge splash this year with making big additions to the park. Last year was the big Mystic Timbers opening. This year, they stayed quiet all through announcement season. And then finally, towards the end, we saw that they were getting some restaurant improvements, including the brand new Coney Island barbecue. And Waterparker, I know you're a big Kings Island guy. You were actually there for opening day. So why don't you give us a little rundown of how the day went and what you experienced with the new Kings Island?
Yeah, so, I got there early in the morning, did ERT, great ERT. I always love riding Banshee and Mystic Timbers. But later on in the day, of course, like what you said, I did get to go experience the Coney barbecue. Now, the Coney barbecue is dated to, the turn of the century, the classic style Coney Mall. It has a very great sign in front with like the old classic carnival lights, which I thought was very cool. As you enter into the Coney barbecue, Andy, it's very nice. There's a lot of homage to the old classic Coney Mall, whether it be photos on the wall or the white painted iron fencing that you walk through for the queue line. Very cool, very immersive. As well, not to mention the fact on the entry hall, there are a lot of little tiny words, say like Scrambler or the Monster, and a lot of the classic attractions that aren't at Kings Island anymore, which I think is a great way for guests to say, hey, I remember riding that when I was a kid. I remember several things that are on there that are now gone. But the focus isn't on the theming, Andy. It's about the food. And at the center of the restaurant, there's this huge rotisserie cooker, which has a lot of various rotisserie chickens on the skewers, just roasting and cooking. I thought that was very cool and a very great surprise for me because, when I walked on in, I thought, okay, rotisserie chicken, they're probably just going to give you chicken bits. No, Andy, you get a half of a rotisserie chicken, or you could get some beef brisket, or you get some pork, or what I got, the ribs. Now, Andy, I don't know about you. Yeah, you can get ribs, and get this, it's on a dining plan. So all of you guys who are maybe Cedar Point guys who get the dining plan, or maybe you're from Kings Island and got the dining plan and you haven't checked it out, you can get one entree and one side, which they have a various myriad array of, different sides. You have like corn on the cob, you have collard greens, or you have macaroni and cheese. I went there twice and I got macaroni and cheese and I got the corn on the cob. But, when you walk on out, you have two places to eat. You have either a front patio, which is all covered. It has the fans running for you guys, so if it's hot on the summer day, you're going to stay cool. And or you can sit in the back patio where you get a beautiful view of Scrambler and the now smoke-free Tower Gardens. Now, and that's pretty big.
Now, is there any inside seating here, or is it all outdoor?
Yeah, it is all outdoor seating. Now, I know a lot of people were saying, let's get some indoor seating. But the thing about it, Andy, is fact, this is practically an exact replica of what we have over at the water park with the Island Smokehouse. So take that, place it in Coney Mall, and that's what we have. Now, a lot of you guys at home probably wondering, Waterparker, give us a food review. Well, here you go, guys. You get two sauces. Actually, you get four. You get a Carolina mustard, which is basically a spicy mustard barbecue sauce. Then you have the regular barbecue sauce, which is actually not that bad. Ketchup, then mustard. The ribs themselves are a little bit dry. Of course, theme park food. Don't expect Montgomery Inn style ribs. However, Andy, I was blown away. I was posting onto Facebook, these ribs are amazing, because good ribs. And I was actually kind of surprised. It was sweet. It was exactly what I was expecting. The barbecue sauce even made it even better. Corn on the cob was smoked. Pretty good. Macaroni and cheese, pretty good. I had a little bit of barbecue sauce on that. That's because of last year when I was over at Winterfest, they had the same exact thing. So overall, some great dishes there, Andy. But there's something else that people don't talk about much about food at Kings Island 2018, and that's cotton candy.
I've heard this, that they were trying to do something different with a new cotton candy stand.
Well, so here's what's going on. If you go into Sweet Spot, you will find a huge section, that has this whole entire, like, each kind of candy. So you have all these white cotton candies. You have chili cotton candy, which are like, jalapeno chilies. You have cookie dough cotton candy, bubblegum cotton candy. And they have a cotton candy of the week. Now, Andy, these are, I don't know whether or not they're going to be circulating, but these are certain flavors that are going to be highlighted each week. Some of them are not out yet, so they're probably going to come out during their week. But this week was ranch. Now, Andy, I'm not a huge cotton candy guy, so I didn't get it. I had some friends tell me that they liked it. Some people didn't like it. I'm not going to say whether or not. I'm going to leave that to you guys to go and decide. And if you have already, go comment down below if you haven't already. But I don't know how I feel about this ranch, Andy, because I know that up at Cedar Point, they were talking about they're going to have a huge, giant new cotton candy stands where you're going to have different colors, different varieties of cotton candy. But this is just weird for me. I can't really get it. But
it kind of reminds me of when Cedar Point did the chippery in the back of the park where they were going to fry up their own chips, and they would have rotating flavors of the chips. And one of the rotating flavors was ketchup, which in some areas of the country is very popular to have ketchup potato chips. In the Midwest, you really don't see it. I've never had it up until that point. And the chippery kind of went the way of the way of Challenge Park and kind of disappeared after a few seasons. So I would assume cotton candy is going to be a little more popular. Cotton candy is a staple of amusement parks. When you think of amusement parks, cotton candy is one of the things that people are going to probably list. I am a huge fan of cotton candy. Depending on the price point, I'm probably going to get some. I'm probably not going to do like the chili and the ranch. I'm not a huge fan of that. But the cookie dough sounds, intriguing to me. And some of these other flavors that they've been talking about. So that might be kind of cool to experience that. What about, let me get to it. How were the coasters running? I heard some that Racer got some track work, that it was running smooth. I heard, just give us a little rundown of how the coasters are running.
From what I understand, Racer is running better. Now, note, Andy, I did not ride Racer because I have a bad history with Racer, with it being so rough. I don't really ride it.
Last time I was on it last year, it was terrible.
Yeah,
it was
so
really rough.
I heard friends of mine who said, yeah, it's running pretty smooth now. Okay. I cannot really say whether or not if it is. However, Flight of Fear did break down yesterday. I don't know why, but it did. I was in line, and then they said, oh, we're down for today. So, however, Banshee's still running well. I actually refound my love for Banshee on Saturday. Of course, rode in the back left and back right. Two of the best seats on Banshee. Mystic Timber's running well. The Beast is running pretty good. Now, note, the chain lift is still slow. They put some brand new fencing around the coaster, which is pretty good.
The chain lift, what do you have to say? The chain lift is slow.
The chain lift is pretty slow.
Because the sky is blue and water is wet. Thanks, Waterparker.
Because someone told me that, this Beast chain is going faster. I'm like, no, it's not.
Get out of here. What? They want you to fall asleep on that ride.
Hey, I did, though. But something I am very happy about is that they added some brand new fencing to the Beast. As you guys know, it is in the backwoods. I'm very happy about that because on the same exact ride that I had, there was a deer right next to Beast.
Yeah.
Kind of scary, but I'm glad to know that Kings Island's looking out for me with the chain. Mystic Timber's still running well. It's not really getting rough yet. A lot of people were scared that, maybe this winter would make it get a little bit rough. Still smooth. I'm not having any worries.
Did you get the super secret Beast scene though?
Andy, I don't know where you're getting this, Andy. There's no Beast scene. I wrote it.
I was on the Beast scene. I went through it. It's like one out of every 2,000 trips or something.
No, still no Beast scene. Now my girlfriend, she wrote it about.
She got the super secret Beast scene?
No, she did not.
Oh, okay.
Rumor has it there's a super secret Raptor scene.
There is not. Stop.
I don't know. But Andy, there's something I would like to talk about. That's outside of the coasters. A lot of very small. Sorry about that. Very small lines at Kings Island due to the rain. So, with that being said, we stopped riding coasters. We walked around the park. And when it was coming to dusk, we realized that a lot of the Winterfest stuff was still around. That's something a lot of people were talking about, was the fact that there's still lights on the International Street. So if you guys are wondering if those are going to go or stay, they are staying. Many of the trees still have Christmas lights on them. I don't know whether or not they're going to take them down. They've had several months to go and take them down.
Probably. I just know with Cedar Point, when they did that whole Starlight experience, even after they stopped doing the Starlight experience, they left those lights up. They're not easy to take up and down because they usually, staple them right into the tree. So it's not easy to do. And I suspect that they're just going to leave it up.
Well, and something that was interesting too, Andy, is the fact that there were some of the projecting lights that were still projecting Feliz Navidad or Merry Christmas. I saw photos of that a couple of days ago.
That could just be well, one of two things there. It's either oversight that they forgot that they did that, or they thought they got it and they didn't, or two, it's trying to drum up promotion for next Winterfest too. And you don't know. You really don't.
Well, and something that's a little bit interesting, Andy, is the fact that they still have a little small section of the store that is dedicated to Winterfest, whether it be hats or, Snoopy's. There's still little areas where you pick up an ornament. Maybe you didn't pick it up last year. Maybe you want to go pick up a Snoopy. There's still a little section in a store. It's very far back left store. It's where the old Snoopy boutique was. They switched it around. Now it's an Ohio store, and then the regular store, and then a Snoopy store. Right next to it's the Winterfest area. So, opening day was great for me. I got to go ride Banshee again. I got to go ride some of my favorite attractions again. Vortex had a birthday. Vortex actually was running pretty good, Andy. I was actually kind of surprised. It was not as rickety as it was before.
Well, speaking of that area of the park, we also heard reports that there is new fencing up over by Dinosaurs Alive. Was it just fencing? Was it anything that looked like it was suspicious?
There was fencing. Now, some people have been talking about they're seeing tree removal back there. I cannot go and confirm this. I did not see this. But several people that I know have said there is tree removal back there. There is a smoking section back there now, which there's a lot of fencing. The whole entire tarp off area is gone. Andy, for me, I think to myself, I'm hoping that they go and renovate that back area, because that's definitely a part of the park that, you have Windseeker, you have the Vortex, but really, in all honesty, that's it.
It's kind of like that dead end where you make that turn and there's nothing really drawing you back to Windseeker or Vortex, unless you are specifically going for those two things. They used to have the old theater back there that they now use for Haunt. That's kind of strangely placed too. I don't know. I just don't. I have a hard time believing that they're building anything big back there in the next few years. Like, we just hear so much going on already, that there's the Carowin stuff for next year already. There's Kaga stuff out there already for next year that people are talking about. There's plenty of other places, Dorney Park in the mix, people talking about that. There's so many places being talked about. I just find it hard to believe that 2019 is going to be another Kings Island coaster, considering they just got Banshee, they just got Mystic Timbers. I find it hard to believe that 2020 is going to be a coaster either. I think we're looking at 2021 at the earliest, personally. But who knows with Cedar Fair? Winterfest obviously was very successful, brought in a lot of money. The problem is that it just doesn't seem like the coasters are making the turnstiles move. That they put in Banshee, attendance flatline. They put in Mystic Timbers. Attendance did rise, but it rose because of Winterfest. That you added an entire month onto the season by adding Winterfest, and it was very popular. So yes, the attendance rose, but it didn't rise during the season that you wanted to rise. That you didn't have to put in Mystic Timbers to get the attendance to go up. You just needed to do Winterfest.
And I'm going to put it out here right now, Andy. I don't see a Giga coming to Kings Island for a very long time. I'm putting it out here right now. I've had countless people come up to me and say, "Hey, Waterparker, what do you think about Giga?" I don't see a Giga coming. Before we get a Giga, we need new flat rides. there is still a flat ride platform that is not used for anything.
Yeah.
It sticks out like a sore thumb. Coney Mall desperately needs new flat rides to keep up with the classics of the yesterdays and the future of tomorrow. And if
I agree with you completely. I finally feel that Kings Island has a very robust coaster collection. I feel that with the addition of Banshee and Mystic Timbers, that it's really rounded out their collection. Could they use other stuff? Sure, anybody could. But like you said, it's what to do in between the coasters. That's the issue there. That yeah, you have Drop Tower, you have Delirium. Those are two major flat rides. But outside of that, there's not a whole lot going on there. I just feel like you need more stuff. Even maybe a modern dark ride. Like, I know you got Boo Blasters, but
that's don't even talk about that, Andy.
Yeah, it's a kid. You need a modern dark ride. Mm-hmm. You need so much there to really round out the collection. Because every time I go there, I'm like, I enjoy my experience. And when I go to Coaster Stock, the problem is I have to spend the whole weekend there. And when you go for more than, if it's a one-day park, that's great. You go there for one day, you have a great time, you go home. But if you want to stay there for any more than one day, you're hard-pressed to start finding stuff to do. Like, I swear, I think I sat in that park more than any other park I've ever been in. Like, just to sit there and, because you're like, well, the lines are too long on all the coasters, so what do? Like, do you want to go wait an hour and a half line for Diamondback or Mystic Timbers midday? Or do you want to, there's really no other things to do.
Well, I mean, you could wait in line for a crappy Congo Falls, which I'm going to put this rumor out now, Andy. Me and my girlfriend were standing in the line for Banshee, and we both looked out and we saw Congo Falls. There was no one riding it yesterday. Yeah. It was 70, 80 degrees out yesterday. No one was riding. It hit me yesterday, Andy. The best bet for a new coaster, we see that family coasters do well at Kings Island. That's the demographic that they're looking for. What about getting a Raptor clone at Kings Island?
You could, and that would be a nice little spot for it. You could get a Raptor track. You probably, like, a lot of people are talking about the B&M family inverts. You're probably not going to do that because you just got Banshee as an invert. Plus you have Invertigo. Plus you have Flying Aerial Chase. So I think a Raptor track might actually fit well. The problem is I don't know how much the Raptor tracks are going to be seen as family coasters because, I don't know, we've seen those test runs from down at Fiesta, and that thing's flying on that track still. I saw a test run from this weekend, and it's slowed down a little bit, but it's flying on that track still. So I don't know how much family, but that's going to be a nice little place for, you're going to be able to put those anywhere you want. You can take out a Shoot the Chutes, and I think the days of Shoot the Chutes are numbered along with the days of the log flume. I think both those types of rides, there's a shelf life there.
I'll agree with you, Shoot Chutes. The log flume, I think that Kings Island's log flume probably stick around for a while because it's before small. Kings Island. Yeah, it's small. Yeah,
it's a small one. I think the larger size log flumes are, we see it happening. We see it happening all over. Cedar Point took theirs out. Kaga took some of theirs out. Kennywood took theirs out. Everyone's taking out these log flumes left and right. This is not an isolated thing. And I think you're always going to have some somewhere, but and the Kings Island might be one that stays because it's a smaller version, real small hill, maintenance probably pretty easy on it. So
and it's right in the kiddie section.
Yeah.
That's your main target audience for these log flumes. So without a doubt, Kings Island's future, I think, is going to be bright. They still have a lot of land to use, Andy.
They have more land than anybody. They have tons of land there. So they and that's why there's no rush on it either. Don't be, maybe you want to wait to see what technology comes out in the next few years, that they're always, putting in new tech. Like, why go all in on something that right now, and they have an anniversary coming up too, don't they? Don't they have their big?
I think it's the 50th. Let me make sure about this because Kings Island usually goes out
I think it was 2021 is their anniversary.
So they opened up in 72. So their 50th will be in 2022.
Okay. So 2021 would be their 50th season, and then 2022 would be their 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
Is how they go.
Yeah.
So I think that's when we will realistically see another huge major investment in that park. Like you just got Mystic Timbers in 2017, put 5 years on it. That makes perfect sense. And very well, maybe they're prepping that area to do that, and if they're not, maybe it is a giga. Maybe you put a giga in 2022.
I don't know. But, the overall look, Andy, is the fact that Kings Island's future is going to look bright. I don't think anything bad's going to happen. And overall, it was a great day to be at Kings Island.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you had a good time, Waterparker. We will keep you updated on anything else going on over at Kings Island this season. I know you'll be there quite a bit.
Going to Coaster Talk for the first time in 2 years. So, yeah, I'll be
Coaster Stock is a good event. I would highly recommend it. I don't know if I'm going to make it this year. I didn't go last year. I'm looking at the dates still. I'm still debating. It depends on what's going to happen here with some of my other stuff. But Coaster Stock is a fine event that you're going to enjoy a lot. I know that.
Yeah.
Cool. So as always, I am Andrew Barczyk from Chicago, Illinois.
And I'm the Waterparker from Cincinnati, Ohio. And as always, stay tropical, everyone.
Right on, right, Warriors.